Alrighty. And we're good. But of course we are not good just because I say we are good. We must now do our checking of doubling. Sometimes tripling, sometimes quadrupling. So now we do our checking. We check here, we're good. We check here. See, the YouTube one is, see, this is why we check things. There we go. Much better. Alright. And then we click here, and then we click here, and then we click here. There's the phone magic, so we're definitely fine. Also, I'm just going to move that over here for today. Boop. And boop. And boop. Boop. Then, alright, I close that now. Enough of that. Things are working. I like when things work. Let's talk about some Master Duel replays, because I don't want to talk about anything else right now. I'm sick. We've been, like, rotating sickness for, like, the past 2 weeks in the house, so that's fun. My throat is really sore. I have chicken soup on the stove, and now I'm at the point of waiting, so I can comfortably do something. And what am I going to do? We're going to go over some replays. Why replays? Because I have a couple of replays. I like replays. Replays are fun. See, look at all these replays. Isn't that just fun and festive? And I don't remember a lot of these, but also I don't remember much right now. My head hurts. So enough yapping. Let's just get into it. Alright, this duel... Oh god, I remember this. Alright, so this was... They had just released the new ice barrier stuff. And there was an event. I don't remember the exact event. I think it was a water-wind event. That sounds correct in my brain. And I don't have any water-wind decks anymore. But one of the loaners was a Speedroid deck. And I do know how to use that deck. But I also haven't used it in forever, so I decided, okay, I'll just go with Speedroid. So, what happens here? Well, I start with Scratch. I pitch... Oh god, that was the one thing. I used, like, my own Speedroid deck when learning Speedroid, and, like, there's so many cards in here that I just have never seen before and don't use. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is this thing actually? Like, I have no idea what this is even supposed to be. Like, what is this? Is this, like, some... Like, what the fuck's a Menko? Like, truly, what am I looking at right now? But anyway, we use Speedroid Ticket to send the Menko so I can get something else. So yeah. We grab Terratop and Takatomborg, the classic combo. Takatomborg send himself away. Get old Car Turbo out here. Unfortunately, Red Eye Die was already in my hand, so I couldn't use him. So I go into Charge Warrior here. So let's try for a draw. We get Duplicate, so now I summon the Red Eye Die. I use these two. I make fast. So fast. Yeah, so fast. And I just put Duplicate down and then wait. What was I going up against? Oh, yeah. Dude, the new Ice Barrier stuff is, like, fine, right? But in this event in particular, it was the opposite of fun trying to put up with this stuff. It was not fun. It was super not fun. Trying to think. What was the other loaner deck? One was Ice Barrier. The other one was Speedroid. I genuinely forget what the third one was. But yeah, so they use their medallion. They grab the lady. They pitch the little guy. I forget. Yeah, Hexa Spirit. Yeah. They pitch low guy in order to summon Ran Adrian. We're going to duplicate to send it back, but they have the Ice Barrier stuff in their hand, so they're going to Ice Barrier into all their things. But we have Ghost Mourner here, so we're going to use Ghost Mourner and tell him no. They're still going to summon a guy, but you're at least not going to get another grab out of that for now. Unfortunately for now. Here's Gamir Adrian. It takes some damage. And unfortunately, Gamir Adrian's effect is like kind of awkward to stop, so yeah. They're going to pitch the Gamir Adrian to make a bunch of tokens to make a different thing instead, which makes sense because I just negated and zeroed it. So here's Trish. And he's going to be very mean. So Trish is going to banish the Terratop, is going to banish Piper in my hand. Oh no, he's not going to. Yeah, one card each from hand, field, grave. I guess there's not a card in my field, so... So yeah, I got Piper, and I drew Horse Stilts. Again, I've never fucking seen this thing before. What is this? Truly, what is this? So we summon Piper. Do some grabbing. Here's Terratop. So let's take these two. What do I do here? I forget. Here's Kite Drake. Okay, so I'm going to try and wipe the board then. Oh yeah, that's right. Their fucking freezing change protects them. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, the ice barriers were cracked for this event in particular. But he is a strong dragon, so he is a dragon made of kites, you see. See, that's why he's called Kite Drake. So, they're going to pitch. We're going to bring out whatever the fuck that was. Defender. Oh, Defender. And then we're going to use all these guys to make another Trishula. There goes Kite again. There goes Piper. There goes Terratop. Ow. Ow. So, what top deck do I get here? I could not have asked for a better top deck. So we're going to peach Den Duke. We're going to use the Graveyard effect to get a tuner. We're going to get Red Eye Die. We're going to use Red Eye Die to turn Ultra Hound into a level 2. In order to make Cork Shooter. So now we're going to use Cork Shooter to revive what I just made. Because Cork Shooter's effect, if you use all Speedroids to summon Cork Shooter, you can revive them when you special summon it, which is pretty cool. So now we're going to make these two. We're going to take these two. Make Crystal. We're going to re-grab Car Turbo here. We're going to use Car Turbo. Here's Car Turbo. Hi, Car Turbo. We're going to use Duplicate. We're going to take the Car Turbo and the Duplicate in order to make the Link Rubber Band. So here's Rubber Band. We're going to use Rubber Band. We're going to pitch. I think that was clear. Yeah, that was clear. So I can get Yo-Yo. So I can use Yo-Yo's effect to re-grab Cork Shooter. Here's Clear Wing. Clear Wing hits the board. Roll the die. Send those fuckers back to hand. And then punch. B. Good job, B. Because, yeah, I sure as fuck. Present me has sick brain right now, but past me, I'm impressed. Alright, let's see this duel. This is a just regular ranked duel against Jerf. That's a great name. Alright, I'm going first. What am I using here? Good old Centurion. So, we're going to use Primera. Primera grab stand up. When I move, you move. Just like that. And pitch Maxi. Place Trudea. Summon Trudea. Hi, Trudea. Place Gargoyle. Use Gargoyle. Hi, Gargoyle. Take these two. Milk Ogzia. And then Garg comes back to hand. And Ogzia, I grab Bonds with it, because I really like Bonds. Use Bonds to place Gargoyle, and then use Ogzia to place Primera. I should have put Phalanx on the board, I don't know why I didn't. Pelarino. Alright, so we're going to max seed the Pelarino here. They're going to Ash Blossom it, damn. Alright, well, now's as good time as any, because if they've got that, I think I know what they're doing. So, let's summon these two. Bam. Bam. Grabs Rhinoheart. We're going to use Primera's Search Effect, and we're going to use Stand Up to Quick Synchro into Crimson. Good old Crimson Dragon. Bam. And what do I grab here? Another Stand Up. And then we use Crimson and put Gargo back to hand. So, we use Crimson's Synchro effect to hide and bring out a different red dragon. Red Supernova Dragon. Gargo comes back to hand. And Crimson's original effect to grab Synchro Rumble comes back. He's gonna thrust. He's gonna thrust into grass. He's gonna grass. That grass is definitely greener. So, time to start activating what we just milled. That's gonna be a lot of dudes on board. Let's see, Sullick grabs Sheeran. Havness returns those in order to bring out Kaleidoheart. And then Hellshadal Shadow mills more. And then use the field spell on Ogzia. Use Kaleidoheart, use Rhinoheart. Now's as good a time as any to banish the board. He's going to send Salvation to grab a field spell. It's Dat Boy! Hi, Dat Boy. I'm like, ooh, invoke stuff, that's fun. How are you? I'm very sick. And my throat is sore. So, we bring out Kitkalos, he sends Tearlament's Kashtira to send Boar. Then he's going to shear into Special Summon. Then we're going to send Boar. And he's going to bring out Magical Meltdown. Now, the rock in my hand is currently glowing, but I know better, so now is a good time to... now is a good time to throw rocks. So, he's got his invocation. Kitkalos is going to mill even more. Bro, I know they're like the whole thing about Tearlament. Dude, I was explaining this like a while ago to a friend. I hate dealing with Tearlament. And when they were top tier, it's because they were top tier and virtually impossible to deal with unless you were also using them. Now, if you're going against Tearlament, it just feels bad because it feels like the biggest RNG fest possible. And it just feels terrible to try and put up with. It's let's go gambling the deck, and that's just not fun. To win or lose against, like... Although this deck was this duel in particular was kind of an exception. Anyway, he's going to use Invocation to send my Primera, which is really mean, to bring out Mechava. And then he's going to place Scream on the board, and then place a bunch of back row. He's going to use Card Destruction, which sucks. But hey, I got the Graveyard Effect of Phalanx now, so I can bring back Ogzia. That's neat, at least. Except no, because he's going to use Call By to banish Ogzia. What a meanie. So let me move that over a little bit. And then move chat up a little more. There we go. Silly me. So, his Volker is safe. Now's a good time as any to put Trudea on the board to not get completely murdered, so... so now what? Well, got Bestials in hand. I'm going to use Lubellion. He's just going to call by the Lubellion immediately, which honestly is fine. Because now I can Serenir Lubellion. And then he's going to Mechaba to stop the Serenir. But thankfully, that lets me do something fun. Because, I think I'll just take that token. So, I take the token, we use the rock to crush his Mechaba, and... punch! Good old triple. So yeah, that was a fun one against Durf. Give me a quick moment. I will check on dinner, because I currently have chicken soup ready and waiting, and I would rather make sure that that's fine in between rounds. It's just at the simmering stage, so it's not going to happen too often. Alrighty, back to adventure. Hey, look, someone else came in while I was doing kitchen stuff. Hi, Disco Dave. How are you? Similar to that boy. I am sick. Not fun. But what was fun, probably, I don't remember these, is this duel against Shogun. I don't want a Shogun. That's weird. I've heard of several, I don't know, that's probably a kink thing. Gum? That's kind of specific. Why does he want to show gum? Anyway, what's going on here? More Centurion. This time I was trying out Buster Blader Centurion. So let's see. We're going to Trudea, we're going to Primera. Hi, Primera. He's going to Max C. Yeah, everyone in the house has been on like a revolving door of this person is sicker than this person this past week, so. But yeah, standard Centurion, rigging a Primera to grab stand up. When I move, you move. Just like that. Bam. Into Auxia. Bam. And then Auxia and Gargoyle. What do I grab with Auxia this time? Probably Phalanx. But yeah, Gargoyle goes back to hand. And there's Phalanx. Yep, there it is. Alright, and I end. Yeah, I'm doing a bunch of replays because on top of being sick, my head is also turbo exploding. And it's nice when I don't have to think. I can just talk about what I did or what I would have done differently. So what's going on here? A whole fracas of chain effects. That's honestly one of my favorite things. It's just so satisfying to hear the chain link noise go that high pitched. It's really silly, but it's really funny. So, Trudea hits the board. Maxi activates. Primera hits the board. He gets a draw. What do I do here? I think I probably go Crimson into, what could I do here? There's a bit I could do here. What happens? He activates a Miscellaneousaurus. I'm going to Phalanx now because Miscellaneousaurus is going to protect the rest of his monsters for the rest of the turn. So what do I do here? Take these two. I probably make Crimson. Poof! Bam! What is which deck? Mine or my opponent's? My opponent is playing dinosaurs. I am playing specifically Buster Blader Centurion this time. Where it's typical Centurion stuff, but we have a small bit of Buster Blader stuff because Weird update, Frontier. Yeah, man. Frontier is crazy right now. Hi about this. But yeah, Buster Blade or Centurion. You can use the Buster Blader cards because Centurion's quite flexible in the extra deck. And we can make Buster Dragon really easily because we can make 8s and 12s. So it's kind of easy to pitch stuff when doing the Centurion stuff to just make Buster Blader the Dragon Destroyer. And then Buster Dragon to like lock them down. It's interesting. It's definitely not the best version of Centurion, but it's certainly a fun version. It's interesting. I'd give it a try. There's not that many Buster Blader cards you need for it either, so it's pretty cheap if you already have the Centurion stuff. So, yeah. Primera gets my grab here. Let's see. I use... Nah, you're good, Valdez. So, yeah. We're gonna... Poof. Crimson Dragon effect to... What do I bring out here? Have I tried Centurion Sword Soul? I did. It was neat. But I don't know. I just didn't like it as much. Which is really weird. Because I like Centurion and I like Sword Soul, but I didn't really like them together. But I'm always down to try out Synchro stuff. Synchro is my favorite of the extra deck mechanics. Kind of always has been. I don't know why either. But yeah, I always screw around with Synchro. Damn, we have a lot of people here today. So yeah. But yeah, what do we do here? I bring out Red Nova. I think I brought out Red Nova here instead of Blazar. Probably because in my head at the time, I was like, well, he already used Miscellaneousaurus to protect his dinos, so I can't negate anything they do. And Nova is probably going to have a bigger butt. So I probably put him out instead of... Yeah, I put him out instead of Blazar. Probably. That's my guess. So we got Single Rumble too. Dude. Oh, hold on. Come in. Okay. What was I? Braining. Yeah, Synchro Rumble. I love this card. I don't know why. If you're playing Synchro Dragon, like, I find no real reason not to use this card, to be quite honest. Like, at worst, it's still a really usable, like, it's like a less bad Garnet, so honestly, it's really handy most of the time. Like, I've never been upset that I had this card, even if it was in my opening hand. All this card does, effectively for this deck in particular, is revive a tuner, which means we can just use Primera an additional time, which is really handy. Should I add it? I think you should. If you're using Crimson Dragon, you basically get this card on top of Crimson Dragon's effect to bring out a different synchro. And then on follow-up turns, because we're playing Centurion, and this is a mid-range deck anyway, it's really handy on follow-up turns in case something happens to Primera. Because we can still reuse her again. Ever try an Exodia deck before? Not a modern version. I'm not particularly interested in FTK or alt-win conditions, though. Me personally, I'm more of a mid-range kind of guy. That's why I like Centurion so much. Centurion, honestly, has been my favorite deck in, like, a long time. And I've been enjoying it a ton. But yeah, I would highly recommend Synchro Rumble. However, if you are using Synchro Rumble in Centurion, it is very important that do not use Primera's search effect to grab a Centurion card until you use Synchro Rumble. Because Primera cannot be special summoned for the rest of the turn if you use her search effect. So always use Primera, then Synchro Summon, then use Synchro Rumble in order to bring back Primera, and then you can use Primera's search effect. Just don't use the search until you're sure you're not going to use Primera again that turn. That is really important. Just make sure you get as much mileage out of her as possible. Okay, another silly bot here. What is this? Silly Twitch bot. Get out of here. Yeah, I don't know. I just always preferred mid-range. Mid-range has always just been the most fun to me. I just really like mid-range. I know, it's like the most, to me, in my brain, it's the most, like, back and forth that's possible in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I always enjoy that. Still learning how to play Centurion. Yeah, that's fair. Centurion is, like, pretty flexible, because it's, like, also not too... It's pretty splashable on top of that. A lot of these replays are going to be Centurion, so you'll be pretty good watching these, because I used a lot of Centurion. But yeah, he's going to use his... These are the newer Dino cards. I'm not as familiar with these as I am with the other ones, but he blew up the baby, so he's going to get Overraptor here. He's going to bring out Diabellstar. He's going to use Diabellstar to set OSS. He's going to slot down the OSS. We're going to use the OSS in order to bring out Evoltile... Wait, hold on. What was that little guy? Let me double check that. What was that little guy? Evoltile Megatorellia, which is a level 1 fire, so he could use OSS to pitch to bring that out. So he's going to send it to the graveyard with Linkuriboh. We're going to Miscellaneous Saurus here to banish the dinos to bring out the baby. We're going to pop the baby in order to bring out Miscellaneous Saurus. I am drawing a lot from the Max C here. So he's going to use Pankratops in order to blow up Uxia. And, so here's the thing. I'm going to use Nova. We're going to banish the Linkuriboh, because that card is never doing fun things. And now my board's empty. But we're going to use Bishu Druisform here on his Diabellstar. So we're going to send Diabellstar, and I have Druisform on the board now. So he's going to play Singularity. He's going to take these two. What's he doing with these? In order to make Dugares. So now he's going to use Meteosaurus, blow up the baby in his hand to summon Frostosaurus. He's going to use that baby in order to make put Overraptor on the board. He's going to use those two to make Chengying. And Chengying is going to be pretty scary because Chengying has a big butt. He's now going to use Dugares to double the attack of his Chengying. But, problem. As, impressive as all that was, he kind of put all his cards, for lack of a better term, on doubling Chengying in order to do enough to kill me this turn. At the very beginning of his turn, or near the beginning of it, he used Soul Eating, or not Soul Eating over, he used Miscellaneous Saurus to give his Dinosaurs protection, which is a smart thing to do. Problem. Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign Chengying is not a dinosaur, so when he used Frostosaurus to kill Druisworm, I can then just use Druisworm to send Chengying. Uh-oh. And yeah, after a lot of cards I have in my hand because of Maxi, recovering from that state would have been very easy, so he just surrendered. And I'm gonna be real, I never surrender. I let my opponent just finish me off, but I understand sometimes when people surrender. That was a very understandable surrender. Yeah. I was wondering where he was going with that whole thing, and he ended there, and I was just like, wow. That's unfortunate. Alrighty, let's check out this next ranked duel against Dixie. I guess that's the best way to say that. Let's see what happened here. I could confirm what they're doing, but honestly I think it's funnier if I just don't see what they're doing. To, like, re-experience this as fresh as possible. Whee! Alright. Still using Buster Blader Centurion here. Opponent goes first. Let's see, we have Pot of Prosperity. We're going to pitch only 3. And he grabs Ash Blossom with that. Okay. Oh! Another Centurion. Alright, looks like we have a mirror here. So, we're going to stand up. He's going to stand up. He's going to use Wake Up instead. Wake Up Centurion, since we have a Centurion learner here. Wake Up Centurion lets you, if you have a monster in your face-up spell trap zone, call either 4 or 8 and then make a token with that level. You can't use it for anything else aside from a synchro, basically. And if the card is, if Wake Up Centurion is in your graveyard, you can send a Centurion to your deck. This card, I don't find as many opportunities to use it as I do with the other back row that Centurion has, so I often don't use this card. you don't really need to send Centurions to your grave. They're not the worst when it comes to graveyard recursion, but they're not the best at it either, so sending specific things is okay, but not necessary. The tokens, fine, but often enough, you have other things in your hand to synchro with, because you have so much room for non-engine and so much usable things. Like, in this case, he's also using Bystials, which Bystials is one of the best pairings to use with Centurions in my mind, because it gives you access to level 10 synchros on top of your level 8s and 12s, which is really handy. That being said, I often don't find this card that useful, so I typically don't use this card. But it's fine, though. There are moments to use it. So, he's going to continue with the combo here. He's going to put Tridea in the back. He's going to bring out Gargoyle. He's going to use these two to bring out Ogzia. And he's going to use his Gargoyle to go back to hand. Except, I have Bystials in my hand too, so I'm going to banish Gargoyle, and I'm going to banish the other Bystial that was in there. I think that was Magma Hut? Yeah, it was Magma Hut. So, we're going to banish these two. There they go. He still gets his Ogzia search to grab Phalanx. Now, as opposed to Wake Up, Centurion Phalanx, on the other hand, is immensely useful, because it lets you just banish any monster on the field until the end of the turn, which is incredibly disruptive. And if it's in your graveyard, you can banish it from your graveyard to revive a Centurion Synchro monster. It loses attack, but often enough you don't really care about that. This card I find much handier, and this card is also typically used if you're splashing Centurion into other decks. This card is also often being used. I was thinking of using Wake Up with Ringleworm as a cheat for the Sword Soul, since Ringleworm can easily be used with the summonable token. That is true. Yeah, like, there are absolutely applications for Wake Up. I just often don't play the decks where those applications come up more. Because, like I said, I don't typically play Centurion, or Sword Soul Centurion, so. Like, it is handy, but to me, I just don't use the moment. I just don't have it in moments where, or in decks where it's handy. Which is why I don't use it too often. Phalanx, on the other hand, absolutely. I would absolutely use this card every single time. You only need one, but it's handy to have. Because it's so searchable, so. And of course, he's going to use Ogzia, place Gargoyle in the back. And now it's my turn. So I have a couple options here. I'm going to use Crossout Designator on Phalanx, because it's going to force him to use it. Because this is a mirror match. It's very rare where I get to use Crossout Designator in a scenario where it's a mirror match. Typically, you're using Crossout Designator to stop hand traps by pitching one of your own. But here's a rare moment where I'm like, you know, I actually need him to use that right now, because I know how disruptive it's going to be, because I plan on summoning Primera. So, it forces him to use it, which I find to be okay, because that was my main goal. And now we're going to take these two. So we take Primera, and we take Druisworm, and make Chaos Angel. Now, I said this before in a different stream, but I will say it again here. Chaos Angel is my favorite Synchro monster. I fucking love this card. I run 2 just because I can have it in the grave to special summon back Centurion, and 1 for the trash bin. Yeah, that's fair. Using 2 for that is absolutely fair. Chaos Angel, I fucking love Chaos Angel. And Chaos Angel in this deck is especially good because it's so easily summonable. Because all the Bystials are 6s and your main tuners are 4, you're just going to always have access to it. And because your main tuner is light and all the Bystials are dark, the light effect to protect your Synchro monsters and the dark effect to prevent battle destruction to your monsters in general is really handy. This card stops so many decks from being able to deal with the rest of your monsters. And honestly, this alone is like why I like you absolutely, if you're playing, I think the best version of Centurion overall is probably just using them with Bystials in a pseudo pure. And this card is one of those reasons. But like I said, access to the level 10 synchros is so handy. There are other ones that are absolutely usable, like of course Baron. But I find Chaos Angel to be like the absolute goat as far as this is concerned. Yeah, I'd run 2 if I had to. Like, it's so handy. It's so disruptive. It's extremely useful. And of course, when you summon it, you get to banish. And Druiswarm is there too. So now, he's going to call by the Druiswarm, which, fair, makes sense. Sorry, Druiswarm. But we're going to use Chaos Angel here. We're going to use Synchro Angel here because it still gets Primera on the board. And because I didn't use her search effect, I get to use it now. Or at least I would have if my opponent didn't use Ash Blossom. So, that is unfortunate, but we still have Chaos on the board. I don't have my Field Spell because, of course, he interrupted Primera. But we have Surinir coming back. He's going to banish his Phalanx to bring back his Oxia in order to grab another copy of his Field Spell, which makes sense. We're going to place the Field Spell. We're going to use the Search effect. He's going to throw away his Wake Up to grab Primera. He's going to place Primera. Grab Trudea. He's going to use the Trudea already on the board in order to make Legacia. So, he's going to Legacia. He's going to get his Drawla from Legacia, but he's not going to get his Pop from Legacia because the highest monster, or the monster with the highest attack, is Chaos Angel. So, and because Chaos Angel is unaffected by activated monster effects, he can't pop Chaos Angel. So, we're still pretty good. So, he's going to take Gargoyle, and he's going to take Primera. He's going to make Crimson. We're going to slap Crimson on the board. Add Gargoyle back to hand. And, of course, use the Synchro effect. Now, fun thing I learned in this duel, as he just did that, which is quite neat, I didn't realize Crimson could use this effect on any Synchro on the field. I thought it was just your own for the longest time, because that makes sense. But no, it can use it on any, so he targeted Chaos Angel in order to bring out Dispater, which makes... That's a pretty cool play. I'm going to have to remember that for next time. So, he's going to use Dispater to bring out my Druiswarm. He's going to take the Druiswarm and the Oxia in order to make SP. So now, he's going to use SP, but, again, Chaos Angel is completely immune to activated monster effects. So he basically just wasted Dispater's Revive, and his Oxia, and my Druiswarm, and just did nothing. So now my Druiswarm gets to do something. He's going to use Dispater's negation to send back my Phalanx in order to stop the Druiswarm getting rid of Legacia. But yeah, he can't really accomplish much here. And again, because Chaos Angel was made with a light and a dark, Chaos Angel can't be destroyed by battle, so him crashing Legacia into Chaos Angel just did nothing but get rid of Legacia. And I think at this point, he realized what kind of fumble he was in and decided to crash. Yeah, Chaos Angel wins you so many games. Because some people just don't realize that it protects you so much from so much and to so much and just lets you do so much on top of that. The opponent's like me for real. It's okay. We all know this. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! We can't read. We all know. It's okay. That being said, give me a quick moment. I will check on the food once again. Alrighty. Yeah. I am back. Dinner is ready, so yay. My throat gets to be slightly better after this today. Hopefully. On to our next duel. Against Shashlahaska. Yeah, fucking brain, fucking, it's a funny word. Anyway, what happened here? So they won the draw, and they selected going second. So we're going to standard Centurion combo here. Primera into the field spell. Stand up. When I move, you move. Just like that. Don't think I need to explain this. I've explained it a couple times this stream. But yeah, standard Centurion here. And on Oxia. Bam. Gargo comes back. Grab Phalanx, Phalanx down, and Crossout down. And now, of course, place Primera back. Alright. Lightning Storm. Kind of important thing. Lightning Storm is the reason every time I summon Oxia, I put her in defense. Because Lightning Storm for monsters only works on attack position monsters, so always put her in defense. That being said, he decided to go for spells and traps anyway, which isn't that much of a problem, of course, because we can just summon what we want to summon here. I'm going to preemptively say Ash Blossom here using Cross Out, so I can get Primera's Search without any issue here. So, of course, 1-2. There goes the Lightning Storm. Destroyed Phalanx, but luckily, Stand-Up Centurion has its own inbuilt protection where it can't be destroyed as long as I control the Centurion monster. So, of course, we take these two. Make Crimson. There's Crimson. Grab another copy of the field spell, just in case. Use Crimson, target Oxia. Probably should bring out Blazar this time. Yeah, Blazar. Typically, you want to wait until you know what your opponent is doing before you bring out Crimson in order to more properly pick what you want to use against them. But if you're just shotgunning it like I had to in this case, going Blazar is usually a safer bet. Of course, grab Rumble. Dark Ruler no more. So he's going to vomit all over the board. So now, unfortunately, their effects are negated. So let's see. There's Reichheart. Using a Fett Veiler on the Reichheart. He's going to use Rium Heart in order to protect it. By pitching it away. It doesn't get negated, so he still gets the Search. Gonna use Rium Heart's effect to grab the Meek. The Twink and his magical balls combine together in order to make Chiskuta. But we're gonna Ball Drake the Twink here. Not today. Only I get to use Twinks. But he's gonna bring out the ball back anyway, and using the ball, he's gonna bring out Amrita. Yeah, Amritara. That's what it's called. But since he Dark Rulered my board, now is as good time as any to stop him. So we're gonna use Baldrake's effect in order to send away send away Mama. There we go. So Mama's gone, but he can still go because he still has stuff in his hand, and Monodium is interesting. So he brings out Lightheart. So he's gonna use Lightheart here. Lightheart's gonna grab the Reichphobia. He's going to activate it. He's got Reichheart in hand. He's going to put down the Peaceful Planet. Grab Visas. Where are your fingers? Summon the Reich. Use Visas. Blow up Lightheart. Bring it back. Take Visas and Reichheart. Make Baron. I Phalanx here because I want Baron's negate gone as soon as possible. I didn't really care about getting Luxia back on the board. I wanted to make sure that Baron didn't have any gas anymore. So, we're going to Cross Sheep. We're going to Banish 2 in order to bring out Astrolaud. That's going to allow Cross Sheep to, I think it's Revive on... Yeah, I think it's Revive on Fusion Monsters. Now, we're going to use Blazar here. Blazar's effect isn't going to go off because of Dark Ruler, but it is protected. So, he's going to pop his balls, unfortunately. There go the balls. Oh no. To bring out another pair of balls. Twice as high level this time. And then he's going to take these two. He's got a 12 here to bring out his own Crimson Dragon. He's going to target Baron in order to bring out this Pater. Again, having access to 10s is like really handy. Then then I remember, yeah, then he does this. He brings out Access Code Talker. But why though? Like, so he's going to use Access's effect, of course, to gain enhanced attack. He's going to banish the Cross Sheep, get rid of Baldrake. Problem for him. And I know this is Yu-Gi-Oh! And no one reads their cards, but this one's kind of important. Dark Ruler no more stops me from taking damage for the rest of that turn. He just burned so much to bring out access code there. And now nothing's gonna happen. So I get hit and nothing happens. And then what? Like, what? You're gonna blow up the field spell? And then I think he just realized at that point, like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is a problem. I have a lot of, for lack of a better term, embarrassment surrenders where people are just like, oh no. I just fucked up Royal, and they just kind of leave. Like, I wouldn't call that a rage surrender, because to me, that's not like an angry mistake. That's a, oh, I'm an idiot mistake, you know? We've all had those. Up next, all these duels happen during Duelist Cup. I fucking hate Duelist Cup. But what happened here against Voix Fa Gam? Who knows? Because you can't know, because it's Duelist Cup. You can't check your opponent's deck, which is really dumb. But let's see what happened. Alrighty. I was doing Pendulum Magicians at this time, because Pendulum Magicians, for me, is the easiest deck I have to get either the destroy 5 cards daily or use a bunch of spells daily. Unfortunately, my hand was terrible, so all I could do was place down Necro Valley and Ash Blossom in defense position. As much as I love Pendulum Magicians, Pendulum decks in general tend to be an all-gas, no-breaks kind of deck, and if you don't have everything to immediately pop off, they feel terrible. For lack of a better term, it feels like a pendulum. Whereas on one side, you'll feel extremely overpowered, and on the other side, you'll feel extremely underpowered. So, we're going to interrupt a Kaiju Slumber here. I'm going to Max C in response to that. Because he's going to get a bunch of Kaijus on the board, so. He blows up Ash. He gives me Thunder King and gives himself Gameciel. And I'm not sure if he meant to do that the other way around. I don't think he did, because Gameciel's an 8 and he's also playing the Horus cards, so he probably wanted Gameciel as an additional 8. But I didn't fare well in Duelist Cup. Try out Centurion, had no idea how to set up the end board, so kind of play Ants Emancipator Sprite to stop level 10. Yeah, that's fair. I'm lucky enough to usually, like, whenever Duelist Cup rolls around, they put me at around, like, level 15 or so. Thankfully, because I really don't like Duelist Cup. But yeah, if you want, at the end of this, I can show you just like the standard combo with a bit more detail, but you kind of saw it in the couple of replays. Basically, all your cards for Centurion basically cycle into each other, which makes it like relatively easier to learn, right? You're using one to grab the other that you don't have in order to make the board. So if you have Primera, you grab the field spell, you use the field spell to put down Trudea, you use Trudea to grab Gargoyle, you use Gargoyle to, of course, summon Gargoyle, and then that's fine, right? If you have the field spell, then you can use the field spell to grab, say, Primera instead, and then use Primera to grab Trudea, and then repeat from that point. If you have Trudea, you can use Trudea to grab Primera, and then use Primera to grab the field spell, and then use the field spell to grab Gargoyle. Right? Your main goal, basically, is if you don't have Primera, you want Primera to get the field spell. And if you already have the field spell, then you don't really need to worry about it, because you can just use the field spell. That's the fun thing about Centurion, is that, like, pretty much all of the cards in it are one-card starters. It's just remembering, what to grab when you have what you have. The easiest, of course, is if you have Primera, because you just normal Primera and then use her to grab the field spell. Or the field spell, because you just use the field spell to grab whatever you don't have. So yeah. So, what happens here? Oh yeah, I remember this now. Because, once again, the folly of all Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, no one knows how to read. But, even more confusing, if you're playing a deck like Horus that relies on the graveyard, you would think you would at least understand the counters to that strategy, including Necro Valley of all things. This card just shuts off the graveyard, but they must have been on autopilot or something and just kept sending things to graveyard anyway. He kept sending things to graveyard, and I'm guessing he kept trying to use the graveyard effects to revive the Horus monsters, but you can't! Necro Valley's on the field! You can't do anything with those cards when Necro Valley's on the board. Like, what are you trying to do here? Yeah, I placed down my Pendulums, which is technically is a terrible idea if you don't have anything else to use with them, because they're vulnerable now. But, like, I realized at this point that they can't really do anything because they're playing a graveyard deck, and I have the counter to graveyard decks. So yeah, they just surrendered upon realizing that, which... I get it. Again, this is a, oh fuck, I fucked up surrender. It's kind of silly. It's pretty silly. Alrighty, our next Duelist Cup duel was against this, I think that's Korean player. I can't read Korean. I can only speak American and Southern American, which is Spanish. And only a little Spanish. Munch ASMR. Don't remind me. I hate eating on stream. I hate when people, like, can, like, see I'm eating. I mentioned that a while ago. I don't like people knowing I'm eating. It feels weird for some reason. Anyway, what was this duel against this, again, I think that's Korean player, like... Right, let's see. I went first. Still going on Pendulum Magician here. Again, probably another day where I had to do the daily. I normal summon Skullcombat Joker in order to try and get a search, but they're going to Ash Blossom instead. So I don't get the search. They're going to Max C, which is really bad if you're a Pendulum player. I hate that. So I'm only a little afraid. Because, when most people get Max C'd, they stop. When I get Max C'd, I pretend I didn't get Max C'd and just keep playing. So, we're going to place down Oath Dragon in order to use Duelist Alliance. Duelist Alliance needs a card in a Pendulum Zone in order to grab a different Pendulum monster. So, using that, I grab Double Iris Magician. We place Double Iris Magician. And now we Pendulum Summon. We take Skull Acrobat and Black Fang Magician in order to make Baguska, because I literally have nothing else to use here. Baguska is always great as an emergency backup. We're going to Maxi at the beginning of the turn here and see what happens. And now I realize I'm going up against Trap Tricks. Unfortunately, my scales get dustered. Kind of unfortunately, because they like getting blown up. So I get to grab Star Pendulum Graph thanks to Double Iris's Search. So, they're going to bring out Sarah. There is Sarah. They're going to use Holotea to pitch out the Grave Robbing here. Could you have added Ghost Bell or Droll for the Maxi counter? Yes, but also no. You want to if you're using a Pendulum deck, you typically want as few non-Pendulum cards as possible. Because you need Pendulum cards in order to do the Pendulum card things. You need Pendulum cards to set up your scales, and of course you need those cards in your appropriate levels in order to put them on the board. Pendulums don't have that much room for non-engine. In this deck in particular, I have 1 Infinite Impermanence, 3 Ash, and 3 Maxi. And I try my best to not play any more than that, because you need as many Pendulum cards as possible. With the newer cards, with the new Astrograph card, I think it's like Supreme King Sorcerer or something, you can play a lot more non-engine, but I don't have those cards yet. I did not pull any of those cards when that pack was available, so I just got screwed over. So, typical Trap Tricks, kind of, because I was able to block the Murmello's effect because Baguska's on the board. However, Trap Tricks have a bunch of useful Link monsters. So, back to me. What happens here? So, wait. See, this is a prime example. Thanks to Max C, I was able to draw a lot more engine now, right? I have way more Pendulums now. I have Pendulums to bring out Synchro monsters and have high scale and boost my monster's attack. I have a Pendulum scale that can basically be any Pendulum scale I need it to be. I have Oath Dragon to recover Pendulum scales from the face-up extra deck. This is precisely, like, this is the hand I would have preferred seeing on opening rather than at the start of my turn. At turn 1, right? Than the one I had. So, we're going to place Star. Star Pendulum Graph protects Spellcaster monsters from spell card effects, which typically doesn't come up that often. You're typically using these cards as extra deck fodder, and they themselves aren't on the board too often in order to do things, but it can come in handy. I place Wisdom Eye Magician, and then I place Oath Dragon Magician. We're going to use Oath Dragon's effect here to grab Double Iris. And we're going to use Wisdom Eye to blow himself up to put Double Iris there. Now, because I blew up a Pendulum card, I can summon Astrograph Sorcerer from my hand. There he goes. Grab another Wisdom Eye thanks to Astrograph Search. Get another Search thanks to Star. And now at this point I realize, okay, I think I'm in a good enough position where I can actually attack these things. So I put Baguska in attack position so that the rest of my monsters can do their effects. So, he's going to use Holotea in order to bring out Holotea. We're going to blow up Double Iris in order to bring out a different card. We're going to use Get Time Pendulum Graph here. Time Pendulum Graph protects your spellcaster monsters from tap effects. However, more importantly, during either player's turn, you can target a Magician Pendulum, blow it up, and then target a card your opponent controls, and then blow that up. And then if only one card gets destroyed out of that, or none, you can send a card to the graveyard instead, which is incredibly handy. Because send is not destruction. He blew up Star Pendulum Graph, unfortunately, but that's fine. We're going to use Wisdom Eye again, because Wisdom Eye is not once per turn. I'm going to place Harmonizing Magician in the back row here, and then we're going to Pendulum Summon. Harmonizing Magician, when used as a Pendulum scale, gives all your monsters extra attack based on the number of Magician Pendulums that are in your extra deck. Which right now is 3, and there's going to be more, of course. So, we use the Harmonizing Magician that was in my hand with the Oath Dragon Magician in order to make Baron. And then we take... What do we take there? We took Astrograph and Double Iris Magician in order to make Supreme King Dragon Starking Venom, which needs 2 Dark Pendulum monsters. And thankfully, it has its own effect where you can just tribute those monsters and you don't need a fusion spell, which is quite handy. On top of that, the other thing this card does, of course, is mimic another card's effect on the field or in the graveyard. So what I do here is I target Baron. So now I have another negate and another destroy. Because this card is no longer Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom, it is now Baron de Fleur. Which, speaking of, we're going to use OG Baron here to negate the effect of their hole. Goodbye. Yeah. And now this card is Baron de Fleur. So, we're going to use... We used the negate. We're now going to use the destroy here to get rid of Nepthanis. Yeah. We're going to get rid of Kularia. We're going to normal summon the other double iris that was in my hand. We're going to make SP Little Knight. We're going to use SP, except for not, because they surrendered. Would I have been able to OTK that turn? I think so. Let's see. Let's see. We were at about like 37-ish, 37-ish. Yeah, I would have been able to. Yeah, so they just surrendered. Makes sense. Alrighty, and now for torture. Because these next 2 duels are the longest duels I've ever had. Why were they so long? Well, I unfortunately have a stun deck for when I need trap usage. This is my deck with the most amount of traps. So, I was like, well, I need traps. Goodbye, Sabaro, free man. You can check out on my channel, I have a previous replay stream with other Centurion replays if you need them. Where I also explain them very much like I did here. So, normally, I'd pause and talk over a lot of this, but this duel is 33 turns, so I'm only going to pause and mention when important crap happens. Yeah. Thank you for watching, Sabaro. Oh god, I remember why this took so long! It was the battlefield, the battle stopper! Ah, I remember this! So yeah, he's gonna Harpies here. He's gonna destroy my back row. Goodbye, drowning and evenly. There goes the Mirror Force. Just destroy those. You know, this is at least a good opportunity for me to have my soup now. Man, I have never been more tempted to hit fast forward on one of my replays before. But this duel was agony. That no man, woman, child, or anything in between should have to sit through. I should make another cup of tea later. God, so much of this duel was just draw card, end, draw card, end. Brings out another Gameciel. Jowgen is now gone. Well, I get to attack now, except I don't because he has Magic Cylinder. I get to talk about something for once. So, typically in a stun deck, your extra deck really doesn't matter most of the time. However, I am playing Decisive Battle of Golganda, which has one purpose and one purpose alone. It lets me pitch a fusion monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz as a material to prevent cards I have from being destroyed. So, I have 6. I have 3 copies of Brigand, and I have 3 copies of Sprind. So this is essentially 6 destruction protections. That is the only useful part this card has, and that is the only important card in the extra deck, really. Because you're not usually summoning any of these other things, because you typically have a special summon lock. So they don't really do anything most of the time. That being said, he used Numeron Network, and I would rather him not use that, so I'm turning that off. I do more Golgandas, really? What did I banish there? I'm curious. Let's see. Macro, Compost, Fossil, Solemn, Gaugen, Extravagance, Border, Utopian Aura, and Storming. Well, that sucks. We're almost approaching something interesting here. So let's see, I've still got the Gamma Seal they gave me. Yeah, like, what's going on here? Let's just double check here. I have the Gamma Seal they gave me. I equipped it with Moon Mirror Shield, so I'm essentially immune to battle destruction and will beat over whatever I need to beat over. We have Draco Utopian Aura to stop monster effects. We still have Decisive Battle to protect from destruction. We have Evenly Matched in case something goes horribly wrong. And Macrocosmos is on the board in order to banish everything instead of send it to the graveyard. So, what do I do here? Normal summon Fossil. We punch, and we punch with Fossil. Nice. Bonk. Goodbye, Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. But is he really all that spooky? Look at that little guy. He's not spooky. He's not spooky at all. He's adorable. Bonk. And then with his final face down, we can close out this duel. Man. That duel was agony. I was like, man, that was the longest duel I've ever had. I hope I never have one that's just as long. And then literally the next day, against Bobe, or Bobby Valentino, whatever his name may or may not be. Because that 33-turn duel wasn't enough. I had a 39-turn duel the next day. Once again, needed spells trap usage. So I'm like, well, alright. Now this created a bit of a problem because he's using the illusions. And illusions, all illusions have the effect that neither monster involved in a battle with an illusion can be destroyed by that battle. Which creates some issues. And just like that, we're now at an impasse. Because illusions can't be destroyed by battle. And he can't special summon. So he tributes those two in order to bring out Nightmare Magician. Which is pretty good, right? Would have been useful. Except, I'm going to send it right back to him. He does do a lot of searching, that being said. He has a lot of gas in hand. If he can get rid of the things that are stopping him from using it. Which creates problems. So, once again, got all his illusions on board. He's gonna punch my statue, unfortunately, which is not nice. You leave my fishy fish statue alone. See, look at the funny fish statue. Leave him alone. Look at him, he's a nice guy. You just leave him alone. But now what? So now we're gonna take those two. We're gonna try and make Nightmare Magician again. He's gonna go off with it. Moon Mirror Shield is gonna, of course, protect me from that battle, but he gets to take control of it, except he would have, but I already had a Draco Utopian Aura for protection there. And now we can punch! Finally, we're free! We can do damage! I can't be too upset. Like, nah. So once again, another Mirror Sword Knight, but we're gonna have to punch with a Dino. So he get punched. Once again, more more defense. Just a whole lot of we need stuff to do stuff. And then begins the calamity. Where for the next couple of, I forget how many turns, we literally just draw main one end phase. Here's another Nightmare Magician. This time he doesn't try to do anything with it though. Checks out. All these chimeras and no way to special summon them. All these just funny big cats just sitting here. Just got big old cats just chilling. Man, there's really few moments where I ever have at the end of the turn more cards in hand than I like know what to do with. But this duel, this was that duel. This was the duel where that happened. This was certainly one of the duels of all time, man. This was insufferable. See, like, here's the thing. Like, as mentioned, like, way earlier, mid-range is my favorite deck style in games. Because I find Swiss Army knife, toolboxy type strategies in card games to be just the ones that I gravitate towards the most. Like, always. Just no matter what. I'm never full offense. I'm never full defense. I'm never full interrupt. I'm never full stun. I like having the versatility. To me, that's, like, what I like the most in certain decks. And stun is not only not fun to fight against, for me, it's also not fun to use. I hate playing like this. Like, this is boring. Like, one of the main reasons I like mid-range in Yu-Gi-Oh! So much is because I have to, like, think about what I'm doing when I want to stop my opponent. I can't just blindly stop them from doing things, otherwise I'm going to be put in a bad situation. I actually have to sit there, think, and evaluate about what my opponent is using in order to proactively, in order to better counter what they're doing. Which is why I enjoy mid-range so much, right? It's for lack of a better term, skill expressive. Not to say that certain stun decks can't be still expressive. Certainly, a lot of runic variants can be expressive too. Hell, I'm starting to practice with Generator Runic, and I find that deck really fun. Because it has that interactivity. It's not just blind stop your opponent from playing. This is insufferable! Like, this is not fun. Oh boy, we're approaching the zenith. So he flips all his dudes into attack position. We're gonna Draco Utopian the Nightmare Magician so that he doesn't just get to blow up whatever he wants to blow up. So now it's gone. Moon Mirror is gonna give me some protection here. It's gonna go to the grave. He's gonna attack. It's gonna go to the grave. He's gonna attack. It's gonna go to the grave. I'm unsure, but I'm pretty certain that he might have been actually planning to do something there. But because Macrocosmos is on the board, they went to Banishment instead of Graveyard. So yeah, they just kind of did nothing, which thankfully for me means I can finally end this freaking duel. Because, oh boy, that was a slog. That was way too long. That was too long of a duel. Was that even my longest duel? Can I check that somewhere? I think I could check here. Most amount of turns, I think, is the, let's see. Let's see. Cup wins. Group wins. No, my most turns was 48 duels. Jeez, I had one that was longer than that. I'm trying to think. Was that... I'm almost certain that was in one of my old replay videos. I think it was... I think I was using True Draco against Metaphys. I'm almost certain that's what that duel was, if I can remember properly. But I sure as hell can't. And my brain is still half-brained and sick, so, you know... time for me to lay down now that those are all over. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll come around for next time. Next time being Thursday. Next time probably we will probably get back to Monster Hunter Frontier by that time. So, you know, yay. And maybe actually start doing things. But yeah, thank you for watching. Later.